In the meantime, some pressing concerns, at our International Space Station. I don't know if you've been following this, but two of the astronauts who came up on that Boeing Starliner, they can't get back for the time being. They keep delaying their return. Some problems with the Starliner itself, maybe a helium leak, we don't know, but they don't want to take any chances. A lot of people harken back to the Columbia when there was known tile damage on that when it lifted off the space shuttle, and of course when it returned, it disintegrated. Now they're not saying anything like that is at risk here, but they don't know for sure. They want to, just make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed before they attempt to bring those guys home. Leroy Chiao is a former NASA astronaut, ISS commander. Leroy, very good to have you. What is going on here? What's causing this delay?
Sure. Well, as you pointed out, Starliner has its share of problems even before launch, multiple delays, multiple problems. Boeing in itself, the company has cultural problems, not only in its commercial airplane side, obviously also on the space side. But the current spacecraft that's docked to the International Space Station, had some additional problems spring up after it got into space, some small helium leaks, 5 of them in total. Now, they are small leaks. They're about 1/100th of what they can be tolerated. In other words, they could be 100 times worse, and it would still be, it would, be okay, or we can tolerate that. 5 thrusters also failed during the approach to the ISS. 4 of them have been cleared and turned back on. 1 remains turned off. So some problems going on. None of them showstoppers. The Butch and Sonny should be able to get into their vehicle and come back safely. Shouldn't be any problems. But this is the first flight of the Starliner, and the first flight of any vehicle, you're going to be a little extra cautious, which is what you're seeing here.
And I'm wondering, a lot of that is born. I mentioned the Columbia disaster, Leroy, not at all linking the two, but of course they want to be careful. They don't want to, if there are issues with the rocket or concerns about, the astronaut safety, obviously you wait and you wait. But what if Starliner can't take them back? Is there any way that a SpaceX or Elon Musk come to the rescue with a vehicle as an alternative?
Well, yes, that's what would happen if it was deemed, and and I agree with you. We should emphasize this is not what's being contemplated,
right.
Because Starliner, by all evaluations, should be able to bring them home with no problems. But if something drastic should happen and Starliner is disabled, then yes, we would be looking at a rescue situation, possibly sending up an additional SpaceX vehicle that could take the crew back. And so, I'm not sure how quickly that could happen. That would disrupt the traffic model, but I'm sure it could happen. NASA, you can bet, has looked at that as a contingency. We, again, are not going to be caught flat-footed, with no backup situation. So NASA, I think, is just trying not to be complacent. That's what got us in both the Challenger and the Columbia accidents, not to mention the Apollo 1 fire back in 1967. So trying not to repeat those mistakes, being extra cautious, I think that's what we're seeing.
What we are seeing, all of these concerns notwithstanding, Leroy, and you pointed it out very enthusiastically, as you should, and given your own incredible service in the space program, we're back in a big way. But everyone's back in a big way. China's all over the moon. I don't know what they're doing there, but they spent a lot of the time on the far side, and they just brought a rocket back with samples from the lunar surface. What's going on there?
Sure. So the moon has been the focus for a number of countries and space agencies. NASA, of course, has made a big deal about sending humans back for the first time since 1972. China has also announced plans to send humans there and to establish a lunar base in the future. A lot of other countries, getting in the act. Japan, India, launching probes to the moon with varying degrees of success. Commercial companies under NASA sponsorship also getting involved. So everyone's focusing on the moon right now. It's a precursor, if you will, to sending people to Mars. SpaceX also very much involved. They've got a big contract to develop a human lander system for NASA, for bringing NASA astronauts back to the surface. It's a big focus right now, and I think, it's a great place to get everything together, make sure your equipment's ready to go, make sure your astronauts are ready to go before you make that big leap to Mars. And so I think that's, kind of what it's all about.
Well, Leroy, I've been fascinated with your career. You were part of a unique group of incredible human beings. Leroy Chiao, the former NASA astronaut and International Space Station commander, you name it, he's done it, seen it, and appreciates it, and us and the humankind, because we all did that together. So hopefully they'll fix a lot of these concerns they have with Starliner.